Conceive, believe, achieve.
UFC 294 main and co-main event: Islammakhachev versus Alexandervolkanovski and Kamaruusman versus Khamzatchimaev. Let's start with the co-main event: Kamaruusman versus Khamzatchimaev. So Kamaru is going to this fight at 36 years old. He is at that stage of wrapping up his career, bad knees, and has not really evolved his MMA game, while Khamzat is in his prime or peak form, so there's nothing much to expect from Kamaru in this fight. On the stand-up department, the only thing that Khamzat needs to worry or be aware of is Kamaruusman's straight punches. We have seen its devastating power before, but it can be telegraphed and overextended, specifically his cross. Kamaru doesn't really have much to offer when it comes to stand-up part of MMA. With this, I don't see him giving problems to Khamzat unless Khamzat becomes so careless and block Kamaru's punches with his face. Khamzat has definitely more tools to offer in the stand-up scene than Kamaru. With Kamaru getting knocked out cold, he became gun-shy after that brutal knockout. It is going to be difficult for Kamaru to solve those mental barriers and become his old self again. Now, the wrestling and grappling side of this match. It is very hard to say really what will happen in that area, but I think Kamaru could defend some of Khamzat's takedown attempts. The only question here is, would Kamaru be able to hold Khamzat on the fence and score enough points to win, just like when he was in his peak days? Conclusion: we know Khamzat has more tools to win in this fight. His cardio could be sus, but this is middleweight and a 3-rounder, so it might not be an issue. His boxing definitely more complex than Kamaru's, and he could finish in both ways, while Kamaru can only finish in stand-up. It will be an interesting fight to see. If I were to have a prediction for this fight, since this is a 3-round fight which favors Khamzat, I would say that Khamzat by whatever he wants. Will Kamaruusman have a chance at being a double champ, or Khamzatchimaev will put the final nail on his career? We will see soon. Now with the main event, Islammakhachev versus Alexandervolkanovski. Okay, let's start with how CKB fighters fight first. CKB fighters like Easy, Carlos, and Volk specifically. So they love their feints, right? Like every movement, feints are involved in their stand-up kit. I find it counterintuitive. Like the more they do it, the more their opponents could read them and find their timing. It sounds stupid, but hear me out. Doing feints excessively will just expose your body mechanics, your movements, your habits, your speed, and your timing. Not to mention it costs cardio. In their first fight, Islam was getting the better of Volkanovski on the stand-up part. He was able to read Volkanovski's timing with a short amount of time. It was really impressive. I just think that when you feint, it should always have a purpose and should not be done excessively. So in this fight, Islammakhachev will have a lot of advantages: territory, environment, no present injury, and unlimited IVs. Just kidding. While Alexandervolkanovski will come to an enemy territory and just came out from elbow surgery. Like, this could be Alexander's worst fatal mistake that he will ever do in his career. There are a few things that Alex could try in this rematch. By being more aggressive, following up shots that will land, more leg kicks, cutting the cage also would be a good plan. Because if we recall his first fight with Islam just backs away most of the time, and it was effective enough to mitigate whatever Alexander has for him. And lastly, not too ideal when he manages to defend Islam's submission attempts. He needs to be active there. It is so hard to see Alex doing any significant change that will lead to a victory. His skill set right now just screams not enough. He is not a knockout artist like Easy or Powhatan, nor a submission artist like Charles Oliveira or Gilbert Burns. It is just going to be hard to catch up on that skill gap that fighters like Islam have. Surviving alone won't be enough for most of the time. I guess my prediction for this fight will be Islammakhachev via finish. I don't know which round though, but I feel like this is just too perfect for Islam. If Alex did not dominate Islam when he has a bit of disadvantages, what more against a perfect form Islammakhachev? Hey, I would love to be proven wrong here, but I think this could be the start of the downfall of Alexander Volkanovski. Alexander would need a divine intervention to win this fight. Did I curse Islammakhachev and make Alexander Volkanovski finally win this hard-fought battle, or Alexander is truly doomed? That is all for now. Can't wait for the UFC 294. So many hype fights in that card. That is all for now. Take care, fellas.
If you don't know, now you know.